What's one of the main drivers of change in the manufacturing industry? It's us, consumers. 63% of us want to have new products faster. 94% regularly search for alternatives. 61% of us are willing to pay more for higher quality. 74% have become more price sensitive. Another 60% want more sustainability. Consumers can configure and order virtually anything online at the touch of a button. New products, faster, more personalized. Companies all over the world are challenged to keep up. From personalized products to mass-producing one-off items with consistently high quality and speed. Today's consumers are looking for a tailored experience from companies who are engaged socially, environmentally, and deliver more than just a product. To make it happen with precision and agility, a company must get product development, automated production processes, and digitalization to work hand in hand. Companies need a true digital enterprise. Only by combining processing, using and continuously optimizing virtual and actual information can you come up with something new, something better, and make consumers' individual dreams a reality. Siemens Digital Industries Software, where today meets tomorrow.
Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our very exciting Asian Food and Beverage Manufacturing Summit 2022 about automation and packaging. However, before I start, I'd like to hear your voice first. Can you please say hi to me in the chat box so that I can know all of you can hear my voice loud and clear and I can start our event today for you. Can you say yes or hello to me? Hello, Olive. Hi, Jacqueline. Thank you very much. Hello. So we can start now. All right, officially, our event start. Very pleasant day to all delegates of the Asian Food and Beverage Manufacturing Summit 2022. And we will focus more about automation and packaging today. I'm your host, Jack Chen. On behalf of our company, Ringer Events, I would like to welcome all of you to this event. Now, the focus of our conference is on the latest technologies in automation and packaging for the food and beverage industry. According to research, the global food automation market could reach 29.4 billion USD dollars by 2027, and the Asia Pacific is the fastest growing market in terms of compound annual growth rate, or CAGR. Automation for food and packaging refers to the use robotics, the IoT, Internet of Things, AI, artificial intelligence, and other technologies in order to increase efficiency and productivity. Along the benefits are improving product shelf life, food safety, and being able to meet requirements on quality, speed, and consistency. But that's not all, right? The presentations today from Tasting, Matter Toledo, SACME, Team Viewer, and the Indonesian Food and Beverage Association GATMI will further explain to you the advantages of investing in intelligent technology solutions in F&B industry. But first, allow me to acknowledge our business partners for today's webinar who have made this conference possible. Tasting Group, a leading packaging company from Taiwan. They have some success stories we'd like to share with you. Let's dig into their case study today. So look forward to listening to their presentations. Next, Matter Toledo, known worldwide for their product inspection and analytical tools. Don't forget to download their latest acknowledge from their booth. And next, I would like to introduce you the technology company, Siemens. Welcome to visit their booth to download the ebook and white paper to gain the lucky draw chance. We will pick two lucky delegates later if you download any of their two files, the ebook and the white paper. In fact, please use the links in the chat box now to do it too. I will copy and paste this very simple two links for you to download. All right. Anyway, feel free to do it. We will do the lucky draw later, as I will show you the agenda later. So the two files are there waiting for you. Welcome to join. And I have to announce the price first. The price is 200 USD dollar. Would you like to win the prize? Go download Siemens ebook and white paper now. The solution is on the screen now. Please go to the boost function later during the networking time. I will give you the time later too to do it, or simply use the link I share with you in the chat box now. Because I'm now about to announce our agenda today. Now, let's take a look at the agenda and the live presentations sessions here. We have 5 very interesting presentations today. We also thank GATMI, our association partner for the event, and Team Viewer SACME to be our keynote speakers too. Delegates, I have to say, memorize this. Seize the great chance to talk to our speakers today. Prepare your own questions to these companies or organization. We will have a live Q&A session right after each live presentations. So it's a great chance to learn from our experts today, right? Prepare your questions. Let's challenge our experts today. Okay, when you finish looking the agenda, I'll now show you the first presenter. Let's go to the live presentations. I believe they're all ready for sharing their knowledge to you. As you know, Indonesia is very keen to develop its food industry with modern automation tools. This can be a challenge But it is necessary in order to ensure Indonesia's food security. That's very important. That's why to share the development in Indonesia journey to digitalization, we have no less than Mr. Adi Lukman, the chairman of GATMI, to have the presentations today. So, Mr. Lukman, are you ready? You may have the floor now. Delegates, remember, prepare your questions to all speakers today.
I'm Adi Lukman, Chairman of Indonesia Food and Beverage Industry Associations. Thank you for regional event for inviting me for sharing in the ASEAN Food Beverage Manufacturing Summit 2022. As requested by the committee, I would like to share about learning from Indonesia Automation's Revolution 4.0. Before I'm talking about the learning from Indonesian automation revolution, I would like to share about the F&B industry in Indonesia. Indonesia is an archipelago country with more than 16,000 islands. Of course, this is a challenging for food and beverage industry and all industries for logistics and distribution. Even though we have a good opportunity because the share of food expenditure per capita GDP in Indonesia is around 49.22% and 1/3 contributed by processed food. So this is the opportunity for food and beverage industries in Indonesia. And if we talk about the Indonesia in 2045, our governments predict that population in Indonesia will be around 319 million populations, and GDP per capita become 23,000. So this is also a good opportunity for food and beverage industries because with the high GDP, the consumers will looking for processed food with more variety, more added value, and better quality and more functionals. And also supported by household consumptions because in Indonesia, household consumption is contribute around 53% to the GDP. It's quite significant high, and household consumption growth in always positive. In the last growth in second quarter 2022 plus 5.51%. And due to that opportunity, the food and beverage industries grow positive during the pandemic COVID, and the last growth in the second quarter 2022 is 3.68%. And the important thing is contribution to the GDP is quite significant, high, around 38% to GDP non-oil industry sectors. So the food and beverage plays an important role in food security and availability and contributes to the economy. If we see the PMI index in Indonesia, also in the food conditions currently, because you know during the pandemic, we experienced very bad situations in 2020 and 2021, July, because the pandemic COVID-19. But currently, with the government can manage well the economic and also the pandemic, and then PMI index in Indonesia always above 50, even though we still have a challenge with the others ASEAN countries like Vietnam, Philippines, and Singapore. For the investment in Indonesia in food and beverage industry sector is quite significant good because food industry investment realization in the Big Five in Indonesia and achieved around 42 trillion rupiah in 2022 first semester. And this is also showing the good, quite significant high growth in domestic direct investment, around 64% growth, even though the foreign direct investment minus 17%. But in total, we still growth in realization in food and beverage industries. Also, last year, our exports also growth positive, very good, significant high, around 43.9% or 44% for the food and beverage, around 14%. This is the export, including the palm oil industries. And according to the report in June 2022, the most destination country is US, followed by China, Vietnam, Malaysia, Philippines, and others. If we see the data, export and import for semi-processed and processed food excluded palm oil from HI 16 to 24. We also growth in every year's positive. And this is also data showing that from January to May, if you compare last year and this year's, our export growth is around 16% and import around 11.6%. Now I'm talking about the opportunity and challenging in post-COVID pandemic 19, COVID-19. This is the data show the pandemic COVID-19 case. It's until August 5th. And we see, for example, in July 2021, when the pandemic COVID in the big case, the PMI index also experienced very bad, around 40 in level. But after that, government has experience and collaboration with all stakeholders, and then we can manage well the pandemic COVID and economic as well. So that's why we can see that even though in 2022 pandemic COVID cases in the high level, but economic still running well. So this is showing that based on the experience, Indonesia has succeeded in controlling the COVID-19 pandemic, so it doesn't disrupt the economy. The key word is a collaboration among the stakeholders in combating pandemic COVID-19 for the success. And we can see during the pandemic COVID, we have 5 crises from the health, economic, logistic, commodity, and energy crisis. Of course, this is impact to the industries and then reduce the profit, our profitability. And unfortunately, in 2022, followed by the Ukraine-Russia war, and also currently the high tension in China-Taiwan case. So currently, under the new normal adaptations, but the tension of the geopolitics is higher, and commodity price and energy price also in the high level, still high level. But fortunately, logistics currently is a bit better, even though it's not in the normal situations. According to the FAO, food price index also rose in 2021 and 2022. We can see the data in June 2022, a little bit better, the food price index minus 2.3%. But in dairy, meats, and meats is still increase. And we have better condition for the vegetable oil, cereals, and sugars. Even though some commodity already lower price, but in average still in a higher food and energy prices during this year. And of course, this is impact to the production costs. And We also experience export restriction policy from some countries until June 2022. There are some countries restrictions like wheat, sugar, meat, fertilizer, soybean, and others. So this is the condition is very dynamic and can change every time. So this is also impact to the higher price of commodity and logistic and energy as well. For example, in the wheat markets, even though it's currently is a better situations because the price is lower compared to the last February, March, but in the still high levels. So this is also will impact to the food insecurity, unstable price. And of course, this is also because of the climate change, global warming, and global geopolitics. So that's why all those conditions impact to the inflations in all over the world, including in Indonesia. And based on the survey, the most pricing uncertainties and risk is, and also the consumers fear recession is the most uncertainty in 2022. So that's why this is the situation in a global situations. And as I mentioned, the tensions in relationship with China and Taiwan also make logistic disruptions, and of course impact to the availability, higher costs, and also cost of money. Due to the debt situations are all impacted to the food and beverage industry. So that's why it's a must that we have to implement Making Indonesia 4.0, and we have to make a transformations post-pandemic COVID-19, because of course the consumers' habits are changing, industrial transformations, and also some food trend and packaging innovation and sustainability, logistic and global trade is changing. So that's why we need transformation due to the world conditions. And fortunately, Indonesia since 2018 already launched what we call it Making Indonesia 4.0 programs. This is the implementation of Industry 4.0 launched by our President Joko Widodo. And food and beverage industries become priority sectors, and government decided 7 priority sectors to implement Industry 4.0 in Indonesia. And some industries by the survey already show and implement Industry 4.0, and Indonesia Ministry of Industry also provide what we call it INDI 4.0. This is the index readiness for the implementation Industry 4.0. Many industries already implement the Industry 4.0, and we can easily measure what level we are now in. And due to the new normal post-pandemic COVID-19 in F&B industry, also we do a new factory arrangement from the layout, workforce, SOP, mitigation, etc. And many industries not implement human-to-machine interface due to we have to reduce human-to-human contact because of the pandemic COVID-19 as well, and also to secure our food safety. And of course, this is also encourage the implementation of Industry 4.0. But we have some challenge in implementing Industry 4.0 because we need more human capital skills more competence, and also we need more data center with sufficient data capacity, safe and affordable. This is also a challenge in Indonesia. We need more infrastructure, internet network, technology provider, power supply, and innovation, capital investment, and of course the regulations. This is showing from the survey of the vacancy that there are huge opportunity in accelerating Industry 4.0 in Indonesia. And vacancy said that there are opportunity around US dollar 120 billion can be made by companies in Indonesia with the right Industry 4.0 implementation by 2025. So this is showing that with implementing Industry 4.0, there are some opportunities for improvement our performance and of course more efficient and more competitive for our food and beverage industries. And based on survey by PricewaterhouseCoopers also showing that during the pandemic, Indonesian consumers more digital, more health conscious, more eco-friendly, more price sensitive, and looking for the futures. And if we see in many countries, also in the developed countries, showing that based on the survey by KPMG, said that with the cloud computing, the industry can grow better. And of course, this is also an opportunity for us to implement Industry 4.0 because we can do our industry is less cost, on time, and traceability, including the implementing the traceability for safety, quality, and safe life. You can see also with the implementing of the Industry 4.0 automations, enhancing food safety, because with the cloud computing, we can monitor, we can trace from the manufacturer to the consumers as well. So in several countries already implemented with the cloud system, cloud computing, implementing Industry 4.0 for tracing the food safety. And US FDA also starting to the new era of smarter food safety for tracing the food safety system and also to build the food safety cultures. And with the smarter food safety, of course, the government can easily collaborate with the industry to monitor the food safety system in all the countries. And this is some testimony from the several members. For example, from some of our members like Indolacto, they said with digitalisation is contributor for the reduce the non-quality product, more efficient, more productivity, and also a more eco-friendly factory. From our member Calbe said cost saving plus minus around 3 to 5% with implementing the Industry 4.0. And also from our members INACO said that with the implementing integrated and communicate each other via internet protocol with SCADA, the factory can make production more efficient and also more productive and of course more competitive. Like our member like Garuda Food said that electrical with the implementations Industry 4.0 can reduce electrical costs around 8 to 10% and increase real time OEE up to 12%. And Mayora said more efficient and productive with the implementing Industry 4.0 automations, and also from Unilever said that with the digital logistic 2.0 and real-time monitoring, the companies can monitor end-to-end from the order until to the consumers as well, with the real monitoring and also with the digital logistic. So the digital logistic is very important because Indonesia is an archipelago countries, and of course we can make a better distribution logistic with implementing Industry 4.0, and we can easily monitor from end to end, and of course more traceability for the especially including the quality and food safety. So because of the very importance in implementing Industry 4.0 and accelerate Industry 4.0, the Ministry of Industries established what we call it the Digital Capability Center, DCC, and we call it the PD 4.0. That this is one of the facilitation of the Ministry of Industry to accelerate the implementation Industry 4.0 in Indonesia. And Ministry of Industry also making many programs to accelerate Industry 4.0 in Indonesia, for example, like Indie 4.0 Award, and also the Transformers Awards in Indonesia. I think implementing Industry 4.0 in Indonesia need transformations and need collaborations with the quadruple helix from the regulator, governments, industries, academic, and also the community. So with those collaboration, we believe we can make more reliable and safe data. We can build a more infrastructure with sufficient supply, power supply, internet, etc. And also we can manage the capital and technology viable, and also human capital competent. So we have to build ecosystem Cindy 4.0 for sustainable, make our industry can be sustained. And all of the system we need to support the agro and food industry to be more resilient, affordable, and competitive for global value chains. We need to build an ecosystem in the food and beverage industries, from the end-to-end, from the raw material, sustainable, with the conducive policies, supported by innovation and technology, and of course supported by human capital with the competent, skilled, and reliable, and infrastructure and logistics. All ecosystem is supported by with the program Making Indonesia 4.0. I think this is a good system to be built in Indonesia, and we believe with those system we can make our industry can be better and support our economic growth as well. And believe in 2022 and beyond, our food and beverage industry can be better growth, because we believe our consumption is towards a normal mode currently, and our upper middle class will shop along with the less fear in the new normal, and government also keep purchasing power in the medium low income class. And based on the report also, Indonesian economic also become better with the growth more than 5%, and with the consistency support by government towards the economic recovery programs, and of course supported by our millennials and Gen Z that love to try a new product and experience. We optimistic our economic growth will be better from time to time, and also we can see our export market is going better, our domestic market is also growing, and we believe our F&B industry growth is predicted around 5 to 7% in 2022. And with those conditions and with some experience of the several companies, we believe that implementing Industry 4.0 and automations can be uh, make our industries grow better, and can make our industry more efficient, more productive, more competitive in the global market, especially to support the Indonesian economic recovery, and of course, and to fulfill the demand of the global market currently. Thank you very much for all your kind attentions. Thank you.
Hello, delegates. Can you hear my voice loud and clear? Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Thank you very much, Mr. Adi Lukman, for your very, very informative presentation. And there are plenty of discussions in the chat box. I love to see that. That's wonderful. Okay. Okay. Sorry, dear delegates. I have got the latest information that for some reasons, Mr. Lukman cannot online now, but we will inform your questions to him. And you can also keep asking your questions later through answering our feedback form. Now, I will copy paste this information in the chat box now. So, dear delegates, you can use this function well. Right. Let me do this copy paste work and add a very, very cute emoji for you. Okay. Now in the chat box, you can see the feedback form link. Make sure that you leave your comments before you go. So now, let's wait for no more. Let's go to the next session. Today, food industry faces several essential challenges, you have to believe, including a very high employee turnover, strict hygiene regulations, and fierce competitions. This all translates into a distinct need for super efficient onboarding and training. To tackle this, food industry organizations have combined smart glasses with TeamViewer Frontlines AR and AI-based workflows to offer a very entirely different onboarding and training solutions to their many clients. So this organization works with thousands of restaurants, cantinas, caterers, and food processors across the globe. So to acquaint us with the use of these tools, we have today Mr. Thomas Hicks, who is the Business Development Manager for the Asian region at TeamViewer. Welcome, Mr. Thomas Hicks. You may begin your presentation. Dear delegates, and prepare your questions as well. You can talk to the expert later in person.
Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. My name is Tom from TeamViewer. So firstly, thank you very much for your time and listening. I'm very, very excited to be here. What I like to do is talk about a solution, particularly helping the onboarding challenge in the food industry. TeamViewer Frontline is what I'm going to be talking about, and how our solutions and use cases are deployed today. Now, before I dive into the actual use cases, just want to give you a quick history of our company or a quick overview. A lot of you probably know TeamViewer as that remote support company that you can download off the web and then you help your friends and family to troubleshoot. That's certainly the way it was, or that's how we started 15 years ago. TeamViewer now, though, has a whole array of products. So as you can see in the presentation, that's our product line that we have. split in 3 different categories, but the same consensus. It's always about connecting things, people, or data. So what we're doing here at TeamViewer is really building a cohesive digital infrastructure, shall I call it, whereby you're fully connected and live data is being passed through globally. For today, we're going to focus on TeamViewer Frontline. TeamViewer Frontline, as it says, it's all about the digitalization or empowering the frontline worker. It's always about the blue collar type workers who traditionally are working with pen and paper, clipboards, and in some cases, tablets. But they're never quite digitized or fully integrated to their company's full digital ecosystem. So that is where TeamViewer Frontline is, and that's what I really want to dive into. Now, you might be wondering, what on earth is TeamViewer Frontline, or how did TeamViewer get into the AR/AI space? Here's a quick overview. What we did actually was a couple of years ago, we acquired some AR companies around the world. Frontlines, so Ubimax, Upskill, and Viscopic, and these are the products. A few others as well, but what we did and finished last year was developed it, merged it into one single platform called TeamViewer Frontline. So this is a single solution or a single offering that we have combined and merged into one platform. You don't have to go separate now, everything is under this brand. Now, what TeamViewer Frontline means is that we tackle pretty much all industries or verticals and use cases for the frontline workers. This is the best way we split it to just get a bit more focused or understanding to who we're selling to. So top left is about logistics. So when we close our eyes and think logistics, immediately we might think of a DHL or FedEx type warehouse. That is certainly where we're deployed in today. But we also need to think of logistics in the food and beverage industry with regards to inventory. So I think it's very common that in most kitchens you have an inventory whereby the cooks would have to go in, they would have to validate or check, but also anything that gets taken out or put back on the shelf has to be recorded as well. So that is the solution that we're providing today, streamlining the whole process in a hands-free manner and making sure that the workers' completed tasks are updated immediately. You'll see a bit more on that later on. Next would be assembly or quality control. This would be, let's say, making a burger together or constructing a product within a coffee chain, for instance. So this is very useful in a training purpose, whereby the worker is given guided step-by-step instructions, perhaps completing a training module. It's not just for onboarding, but it could also be for standardization, quality control checks, making sure that the frontline worker is achieving of the highest standards that he or she needs to be doing. That's another thing that we do and we focus in. Service and maintenance, bottom left, in this case, very much about, could be routine maintenance service checks of appliances or larger appliances in your kitchens. So these might be quarterly checks that would be done, that need to be inspected and recorded and audited and so forth. With our solution now and working with some of our hardware partners, you're able to do this in a hands-free manner. And again, all of this record will be updated, live streamed to the expert or a remote location. Could be any part of the world. But in this case, the worker really doesn't have to go through the manual, tedious process of doing a step-by-step process and having to duplicate it into the ERP system. With our solution, he or she would only have to do it once. It's hands-free and it's twice as fast. Lastly is about remote support. Pretty much the solution is a video call, giving you the capabilities of calling an expert, and then it's see what I see. So allowing the expert who might be at headquarters in the capital to see exactly where that remote kitchen is and what the worker sees. Now, it does a lot more than just a straightforward video call on hands-free devices on your head, but also actually our solution looks at all the requirements needed for P&L sheet when it comes to the Department for Technical Support or troubleshooting. So we're very much looking at the whole process, all the different layers, and at the end, really, a service report is created at all of our support calls. Now, that just summarizes it. That really shows you the super app that we have of TeamViewer Frontline. And these are just some of the use cases that you have available under one umbrella. What I'd like to do next is talk about more about our product line, particularly in this industry. I have a video here. So just to let you know, iSucceed is a company TeamViewer bought, and NSF is one of our partners. Now, in the video shortly, you'll see Adam Miller presenting. Adam Miller is actually a colleague, so he lives in the States, and he's a customer success manager focused in the F&B industry with TeamViewer. I'll let this video run, and I'll give you a bit of a conclusion on this.
My name is Adam Miller, and I'm the Manager of Technical Implementation with NSF iSucceed. Today, I'll show you how we're combining Google's Glass Enterprise Edition 2 and augmented reality, or AR, with NSF iSucceed software, plus the first-hand food industry experience of NSF International. We're helping the food industry do more every day, and the result is really something to see. NSF iSucceed makes it easy to conduct equipment maintenance by offering step-by-step instructions with the possibility to even get live remote assistance. Or use it to digitize reporting and inspections with hands-free tools to take care of inventory management or pre-work inspections, and perform real-time remote audits and record the results. Today, we'll look more in depth at a couple of ways to use NSF iSucceed to take training to another level. But first, let's take a look at the hardware. The smart glass design is simple and intuitive with just a few main components. There's the prism, or the display. This is where the user will see the content. The lens, that's the camera, and a navigation pad here on the side. The adjustments that I'm making are easy and adaptable for anyone. I'm just making sure that the frame and prism are correctly positioned so that I can see the full screen. And now I'm ready to go. I can navigate through the workflow, which is set up in our web-based workflow editor platform and then deployed to one or many pairs of glasses over Wi-Fi. These are able to be rapidly created and edited to support the changing needs of day-to-day operations in the food industry. I can tell Glass what to do with just a few simple commands, completely hands-free. Next step. Let's see what this looks like in one of our enhanced training modules. First, Tony is going to show us how he uses this technology in a quick service restaurant environment. He's putting on the glasses, making sure it fits, and testing the navigation. Now he's ready for enhanced training on how to assemble a burger the exact way the restaurant wants it. Glass is going to guide him through each step of the process. He's also controlling the pace by telling Glass when he's ready for the next step.
Next step. Next step.
This is the great thing about Glass. He's learning a process while actually doing it at the workstation and without taking up another team member's time.
Next step.
Glass closes the gap between learning from video or other instructional material and putting the learning into practice. There's another great way to use Glass in training. You can validate that a step has been completed before allowing an employee to continue to the next step. We call this corrective intelligence. It can be integrated with enhanced training to reinforce training and to ensure that the correct procedure is being followed. Here, for example, the first thing Anna must do is put on food service gloves. Glass checks to see if gloves are put on both of her hands. Only after validating that the gloves are on her hands can she go on to the next step. Training and corrective intelligence are just two ways that the food industry can use NSF iSucceed to improve operations and workplace safety. As you can probably see, it's a good fit with operations. In one test program, 89% of users agreed or strongly agreed that Glass is easy to use. Watch for more from NSF iSucceed as we continue working with Glass to deliver more ways for the food industry, from restaurant and food service operators to retail chains and food processors, to use this breakthrough technology. Thanks a lot for taking a look at Glass today.
So that's the video there. You're actually seeing quite a different array of use cases there. So early in the video, you actually saw a kitchen staff worker actually inventory room looking at different ingredients. And that would be your logistics use case, for instance, whereby you're doing inventory management and checking items going in and out. Also later in the video, you're looking at all the other aspects of assembly process and an inspection process. Now, all of this is actually powered, in this case, with the Google Glass. So we are partnered with numerous enterprise-grade hardware and AR glasses. So what you're seeing is our solution Frontline is actually inside the Google glasses, sitting inside it. Again, TeamViewer is a software company, so our solutions aren't necessarily complete without having a full overall solution of hardware, software, and obviously professional services. So this is a great example of that. Now, Adam also mentions corrective intelligence. That is actually available. We call it now our AI Studio. That is TeamViewer's very own artificial intelligence, and we have a training model that allows you to do that. So in the example shown earlier, you were seeing how the worker has to wear the right gloves. Once she is wearing the right gloves, she can then proceed to the next step. We have that already and already available as part of our Frontline. So you can teach the AI different manners of things. In this case, it's making sure that the worker's wearing the right gloves. Doesn't necessarily have to be that example. Could be about not just wearing the right things or seeing the right object, but it could be about counting, object recognition, could be about color, and so forth. I mean, AI can be taught in different manners of things. But in this case, you're seeing a very common use case of the right gloves that they need to wear. So moving on, I'd like to talk about KFC. So KFC is a customer of ours. This video is based in South America. Now we do have deployments of KFC globally, including here in Asia. They're already using our solution, seeing huge benefits when it comes to training and onboarding process. Let me play the video for you.
Over the last year and a half, our team at Google has worked with Yum Foods to deploy Glass Enterprise Edition to their KFC locations in Latin America. It's been really exciting to see how Glass has helped KFC employees do their jobs more quickly and efficiently by providing them hands-free access to the information and tools they need every day. In taking their kitchens digital, KFC has been able to dramatically shorten the time it takes to train their employees, reduce production times, improve quality, and cut overall costs.
Bueno, yo creo que es algo que te ayuda mucho, ya que una cosa es estar con una persona que te explica las cosas, ahí por más que te muestre, pero otra cosa es verlo a través de los lentes y más con un audio que te ayuda, te dice tal cual son las cosas y que al mismo tiempo te va mostrando.
Los lentes nos ayudaron a llevarle a todos esos empleados nuevos un local virtual. Ellos pudieron ver equipamientos reales, pudieron ver el producto real y copiar todos los procedimientos tal como indican nuestros videos. Lo que esperamos ahora con Google Glass es poder hacer un seguimiento más efectivo de parte de todos los gerenciales, como por ejemplo los checklists de temperatura de la comida, vencimientos y demás herramientas operativas que hoy tenemos. La fase número 1 que nos ayudó a trabajar sobre el empanizado, la número 2 trabajamos sobre sándwich y acompañamiento y lo que viene ahora es trabajar sobre las maquinarias y puntualmente en el armado de la máquina de helados.
Bueno, actualmente nuestro entrenamiento para un puesto consta de 3 días en 4 horas, 12 horas con entrenador. Lo que estamos proyectando con Google Glass es ahorrarnos 8 horas.
Con el Google Glass logramos dos cosas. Uno, que los empleados sean más efectivos y ahorrar horas de entrenadores. Actualmente nosotros logramos un ahorro del 50% de las horas entrenadores y además de todo, con esto de que los chicos podían ver el proceso y comparar cómo tenía que ser el producto, bajamos el desperdicio.
I believe Google Glass and wearables in general are the future of restaurant operations. I cannot see why, with the technology that's available that allows our team members to get experience on the job right away without having to go to a classroom, without having to go to a back house to a computer, and really get to work and learn on what they do. I don't see why we'd go anywhere to another kind of technology. I think this is the future of training in our stores.
We continue to be impressed by Yum's leadership innovating in their store operations and are looking forward to helping them scale their use of glass across new regions.
Great. So just coming towards the end of my presentation, but just want to quickly highlight, and I don't want to state the obvious because I think it's been quite self-explanatory in terms of the cost reductions and improvements in efficiency. But one thing maybe that wasn't highlighted there, and it's not really measurable through numbers, is actually the satisfaction. So what we found, a lot of these trainees are, they really embrace the whole digitalization process. So when they do come on board and you give them something of high tech, like a pair of Google glasses with our solution, then immediately there is a positivity in them and they get motivated in terms of what they're doing. And what you tend to find is that during the training process, they'll be far more responsive and receptive to taking on and onboarding with information. The whole process is far more enjoyable, and therefore they're going to be, I think, twice as more productive. We actually also seen that the confidence level goes up too. When they are more, let's say, integrated, or they're acute with the information that's given to them, and they can correlate it back, they are far more confident with what they're saying and also the information they're taking on. But also what we found that it's not just for trainees, but you do have trainee cooks as well who are working on the job but are also new. And with these, with our solution, you're making sure that you're helping them be more confident with what they're supposed to do and them completing their tasks and making sure it's of the right and high standards that they need to attain. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for listening, and we'd love to answer your questions.
Everyone, if you can hear my voice loud and clear, that's welcome. Thomas Hicks, who brought us very insightful, very interesting presentations today. And I think there are several questions in the chat box as well. Hello, Thomas Hicks. Can you hear my voice loud and clear?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let's go to your questions, okay? So, okay, great. You would like to answer that first?
Yeah, that was just the video earlier. So the KFC deployment did also happen in Asia. So it was South America first, and then the first country in Asia was Thailand. So that kind of ties in with the second part of the question, is that we do support today 19 different languages. And with those 19 languages, a lot of them are obviously Asian languages. We have many deployments here, this part of the world, but Thailand being one of them.
Okay, great. Very sharp and straight. Let's go to the next one.
Next one. So what hardware do you support? Warranty, question mark, battery life, question mark, most common hardware deployed. Okay, so, I mean, TeamViewer started off supporting, your basic desktop computer. And then up until now, we support numerous hardware. So when it comes to AR glasses, we support all enterprise-grade AR glasses. I wouldn't say there's a specific one that we work with. We're partners with all of them, and we make our software dynamic or optimized for each piece of kit. Warranty-wise, that's more of a hardware question, but from what I've seen, it's the standard 3-year warranty. Can be the one if you want to purchase less, or you can buy, year by year. So it's really up to you. And in terms of battery life, that's a very common question, a good one. Whoever wrote that, but all these devices they're designed to last a full shift, so that's 8 hours. Now, sure, some of them will last a bit shorter. I guess it's like your phone. If you're constantly on a video call, then your battery life might get eaten up a little bit quicker. So AR glasses will behave the same. So I wouldn't say there is a common or preferred hardware deployment type. It very much depends on the environment. One hardware is very good for indoor, for the food industry. What you saw was the Google Glass Enterprise Edition 2, very common for food industry. But if you're into like manufacturing, then you've got glasses that are more for, let's say, the G-Shock version. But I'll stop that.
Very interesting. Thank you for answering for that. Okay, you can take the next questions.
Next question here is cost and go-to-market strategy. Okay. Regarding our strategy to sell, so we frontline is sold through partners. Typically, we have system integrators or resellers providing the solution. Now, reason doing that is because TeamViewer is traditionally, it's just a software company. We are SaaS model. But there are actually three components to all of these deployments, and that's software, hardware, and professional services, whether it's during deployment and post. So with that respect, we have strategic partners with SIs that bundle all of these solutions together. So they buy the hardware, the software from us, and then we advise, obviously, on those other two fronts. We don't necessarily sell it, though in some cases with customized deployments, our project engineers do get involved during consulting and professional services, but for any ongoing support after the initial deployment, RSIs can actually provide that.
Yeah, I myself use the software a lot. Yeah, TeamViewer. Yeah, I love
and
that.
then, you know, cost-wise, again, it's really hard. I can't really say one size fits all. Depends on the use case and deployment size. But I mean, TeamViewer, you know, we have a traditional, you know, SaaS model business, so it's a license that we charge. But then the SI bundling the hardware and PS would be a different conversation.
Thank you. I hope that answered your question, Mr. or Miss Delegate. Before we move to the next one, I have to say, due to the time limitation, I hope the next one will be our last one, and try to make it short. Okay.
Thank you. This is integration, question mark. Do we support all ERP type integration? That's also a really good question. So TeamViewer and what you saw in the videos is that we're not there to replace any existing system the customer has. It's likely that the customer may have done some form of digitization and therefore has some form of field service management, utility management, or something in place. We're just an add-on or an extension to that. So think of TeamViewer as like the arms and legs to the original, the system they already have, and then we basically reach out to the frontline workers using the glasses. So I'll keep it. That's the short answer there. Basically, we're there to integrate and work with all ERP system types. Each department we have is completely tailored and customized. So with that, you have a lot of flexibility and freedom there.
Thank you. Usually, when it comes to this one, I will ask you to make some conclusion or highlights to our delegates. But we have another incoming question. So, Mr. Thomas, you can take your pick. Either you make a conclusion for today, or you answer the real last one question to be our last one. What do you think?
Thank you. Perhaps I can combine it.
Sure, of course. Yeah, let's do it.
I think I can combine. I like questions. This one is it can communicate with other people? And I like this question because I can combine it with my maybe a closing statement. The answer is yes. I mean, TeamViewer is all about connecting people, things, and data. So from what you've seen, if you have, say, 3 licenses, TeamViewer is great in that you can invite an unlimited number of attendees or guests onto the platform for free that might be outside your organization. So the answer is yes, but going into my closing statement very much is that, yes, that's what TeamViewer is designed to do. What you saw is the tip of the iceberg. It's frontline, it's TeamViewer frontline use in the F&B space. We touch many verticals actually when it comes to connecting and accessing people. And you would know us already from perhaps we're used at your home computer for troubleshooting on technical matters. We're certainly doing that still today on an enterprise level, and we've extended into the AR space. So I guess my closing statement is that, you know, we're very much about connecting. We stay to that philosophy, how we started, and that's how we will be in the future. So thank you very much for your time.
Wonderful, Thomas. And looking forward, we have you once again at our future events. Okay,
Looking
thank
forward
you.
to it. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, dear delegates, I hope that you learned a lot new technology like me today. Yeah, I have to say I'm very surprised to see all this technology innovation taking place right now. Anyway, let's welcome our next speaker. Next speaker, we will focus once again back to the packaging. In packaging, automation is simply crucial for speed and efficiency, right? As well as in ensuring better designs. Daising, here to introduce to you, has years of experience in the production of sleeves for containers of various shapes and sizes. Believe me, I saw that before. We have Daisy as our speakers before. They are amazing. They can do this either in green or in efficiency way. So many brands trust in their capability to produce sleeves. We have invited Miss Vicky John to talk about green packaging and production efficiency today. So, Miss John, you may have the floor now, and dear delegates, prepare yourself to watch, to witness the plenty of shapes and very efficient and green production line they're gonna present. And prepare your questions as well to ask, to challenge Miss Vicky all about your questions in production. Okay, Vicky, it's your chance. It's your floor now. See you later.
Hello, good morning, everybody. And I am Vicky Chang, PR Department Manager from Dustin Group. Today, my topic is sleek, green, and efficient. Topic is sleek, green, and efficient. We are going to present how can we follow the trend of greener packaging and achieve the production line efficiency. Since these two aspects is most concerned by most of the end user. Dustin founded on the 1985, and over 200 people in our company, and we sell our product over 80 countries in the worldwide. Success story, efficient and stable production. Lotte, one of the world's top-class integrated beverage company, in the increasingly competitive, globalized business environment based on its solid leadership in the domestic beverage market. Lotte produced brands such as Chinsong, Sabre, Pepsi Cola, Dead Mountain, Milking, and others. Why Lotte chose Dustin? Reliable high-speed appliance supplier. Dustin has been Lotte's supplier since 2009. Solve all their uncertainty through the integrated solution. Reliable partner in the term of the problem solving. Integrated solution and the quick response on the service. Success history. Stubber, the product Liquid Key, the well-known brand in the food industry. Liquid Key only need to make sure the infill of the tube is sent the direction before the entry the applicant. We have a device to make the tube stand on right automatically. The tube is saved vertically. Liquid Key provide over 200 tubes of the sauce and the condiment to over 100 countries and the region worldwide. It's an international household name as well as the symbol of the quality and the trust. Success story. Irregular shaped bottle. Nothing we can provide. Okay, later we can more the detail discussion and the aspect for you. Shenzhen market. The global Shenzhen and Shenzhen labor market expand to reach 24.34 billion by 2028, growing at the CAGR of the 7.5% from 2021 to 2028. Shenzhen market. The food and beverage, home and personal care, and the health and care industry, the consumable and the retail select on the key application area for stretchy sleeve and heat shrinking labels globally. Greener solution. Greener solution, we can provide a different solution to with the following. 1, the reduced thickness. 2, washing of the chipset. 3, fireplace sleeve. 4, LDPET. 5, PCR shin sleeve. 6, perforation. 7, bottle grade label recycling. Shin film capable with bottle grade PET for a 100% recyclable labeling the solution. A, washable ink. Green solution reduce thin. We also commend to the reduced thin of the fuel to have reduced the total consumption of the packaging material, reduce the impact of the environment and the cost on the transportation. And the second, perforation. Easy find the bottle, the label tear of point. Easy to tear open the label. Convex design, intimate design will not harness. Customization. It also allows the consumer to only tear open the label on the bottle mouth without damaging the label on the bottle body. How to sleep efficiently with dusting. First one, multi-rear unwinder. 2, a combination unwinder. 3, double head machine vs single head machine. 4, camera rejection system. 5, purchase equipment from the one-stop service supplier. 6, OPC data collection to analyze the bottleneck of the production line. Multi-rear unwinder increase production time to reduce machine stop time. In this unwinder, 7 to 8 rear connect between hand and the tail of 2 different sleeve rears. Accumulation unwinder. This unwinder suitable for single head machine, meaning it's only single the head machine to space label without stopping the machine. Double head vs single head. Double head machine allow more the output before the time you need to replace the rear. The non-stop the function of the double head machine. Camera rejection system. Reduce engine product rework after shin process. Instead, you could install the camera rejection system before the shin process after sleeving. By increment from the one-stop service supplier, one-stop supplier can quickly help to solve your problem in your production line with in the integrated view, label, and the increment. Together, we can help you to improve your process. OPC data collection function. The increment must be available to retrieve data, analyze bottleneck of the production line. It helps customer to make the production line decision. Our partner. This list, you can see the famous brand name, Coca-Cola, Unilever, Silk King, and the Lotte, Pons, Pepsi, and the FNN. especially Dabu and mainland China famous brand name. Coder business from field printing machinery, the material including PET, OPS, OPP, PLA, PVC, PE, printing methods, rubber graver, digital and phaser machine will be implemented in the future. Machinery type 3, the applicant, copper on the tab, and the rest stack, OPP labeling machine, 3 on the lapping machine, and 3 the orientator. Rubber graver printing. There are 6 color rubber graver printing. There are the adventure for 5, vision appeal, excellent color, exquisite print, trace and special finish, unique technology. Printing on your vision. Total solution we can provide many different the print, and you can see the lights and the embossed tactile printer labels. Digital is the key solution to have increased consumer engagement and environment. Frequently change the motive, personalized labels, a service model quantity order, shorter delivery, no costing plan. Samples of digital printing, we can provide different small quality and the different model like this shape. Embossed title printing feature. Embossed title printing provide not only the visual sensation but also title the surprise. Can easily make the product stand out above the rest. UV effort. Can also make the inference effort on the UV light very fancy and eye-catching for the nightclubs. Auto sheen slim machine and ocean accessories. Package type, there are total 5 type we can support to you. Can the slim type, overall the bottom type, full body label type, including the face middle body type, and finally under labeling type. Low speed Shensley solution provide the max speed of 150 BPM, manufactured with low production line capacity and limited space. Application including the perforation if customer need. Success story Polycat used this in the slim machine for the 4-year total 4 set. Polycat, one of the area's foremost developer and manufacturer of practice packaging for the food, cosmetic, toiletry, and the detergent, the mechanical industry. Customer has ordered so a bottle share. They need a high flexibility, which able bottle from the 50 ml to the 1 liter to run on the machine. Product including food, the beverage, include body, the soap, and the shampoo, the technologies too. Success story Polycat. Customization highlight. The model is show the DSV 200P2 applicant, including the applicant for brush for the purple painting device for the passion and including the internal special design for transparent door and the scar on the nozzle hole. Success story Polycat. And the venture high flexibility, customer has also of a battle share. Doesn't always been able to fulfill their need to the integrating the mechanical, software, and the system design of the production line and the maximize of the efficiency. Professional solution. Whenever some issue happen and the customer side, we can always give the professional solution to the different way by the use easily application, explanation, and help the customer solve their issues. Innovation. When the customer want to achieve their product innovation to earn the customer trust, they always think solution from nothing to achieve their final goal. High-speed the solution must be 1,000 BPM. A high-speed double-head sleeve labeler can use the PET 20 unimicron and the PVC 32 unimicron labeler. When one head comes on with a lens or issue, another head is automatically operated on its own with a high standard speed of 650 BPM, with cutting length is 180 millimeter. For the two head, allow user to apply the two different labeled position needed at the same time. Wider caliber must be the 150 BPM. A wider caliber sleeve labeler suitable for bottle the type with bottle lip diameter of the 135 to 200 millimeter. Adopt the driver system, interlink design, and the color coded sensor for the accurate efficient identification. Accumulate on wide. You can see the video online. Multi-label unwind. Provide with inflatable shared trolley. The quantity of label real depend on the label the reference width. Extend label the change time, increase the productivity. Can be the combined with the AGV in near future. Available machine. Designed for the need to be the packaged to the bottom of your products. Can be the directly connected to the conveyor belt of the production line. Success story. Available listening accessory. Double a healthy supplementary product from a well-known brand in India. The product is focused healthy food. Demand design of the label of the bottom of the bag allows the product to show the higher degree of the integrity. Whether is the sleeve label position, cover angle, we adjust where customer needs. Bottle oriented. Including 300,000 pixel camera. With lighting sample, you can see the onboard conveyor. We can use the orientator and see very clear, find the direction correctly. Bottle orientator, we call the ORTCCD. Example, the sample, the emergency energy in the drinks, and the dairy yogurt product. The direction we can find the in fast and the right correction. OPP has the metal rotary labeling machine. We call the iLabeler. May speed 700 BPM. Both round bottle and the square bottle can be used. Four color screen control panel system unit is user-friendly. For the server gapless control, from the high speed to low speed, smooth conversion. Quickly release a lightweight designed module. Quickly and easy replacement. Non-stop labor feeding enhance production line capacity. Increment engage every system. Labels have an important role not only in carrying the design and the product information, but also in the protecting product content. How to comply with the trend of the green packaging and achieve production line efficiency. These two aspects are the most concern about the majority of end users. Thank you. You are looking forward to hear from your side. This is a Dustin Packaging Technology Company.
I know it takes some time for delegate to see myself. That's okay. Let's wait for it. And also, let's welcome Vicky John to attend our live Q&A platform. So, Vicky, can you turn on the microphone and camera on the Q&A mode? Hi, thank you for the very interesting presentation, I have to say. I love some videos you've shared. Vicky, let's go to the Q&A mode. If you can see it, publish the questions you would like to tackle.
Okay, thank you, Jack. Good afternoon. Okay, I see the first one. Oh.
Okay.
How to...
Let's deal with that.
Okay. Oh, sorry. How to achieve a high efficiency for the Shin 3 packaging line? Good. They are the including multi-real on white as my presentation. Okay. We are also including the accumulation on white, double head machine and the single head machine, camera rejection system, purchase increment from one-stop service supplier, and the OPC data collection to analyze bottleneck of the production line. Also, it is very important to choose a supplier which can help you to solve a problem in an integrated view with professional both option sleeves. Manufacturing and the machine manufacturing, because sometimes the problem can only solve when the both field of professional work together. So this is my opinion. Hope that we can assist to you.
All right, let's tackle the next one.
Next one. Ooh. Oh, okay. Next one is which green solution for Shin 3 would you recommend? Okay. Command is reduce thickness. We commit to reduce the thickness of the film to help reduce the total consumption of the packaging material. Reduce the impact on the environment and the cost on the transportation. In my opinion, PCR Shin 3 and the LDPET are the most flexible solution for the current situation. There are some end users already adopted this technology. Some another green solution technology maybe still need more time to be able to commercialize. Next.
Sure. And Vicky, because I don't respond to you because we have several questions keep coming up. So maybe you could take a look at those questions as well. Yeah.
Yes.
One of them is asking for you if you can show more samples. I believe you do have some bottle samples around your hands, right? Maybe you
Yes,
can start with
exactly.
that one.
Yes, this is a very special design. Sometimes customer will asking, and for the customer design and for the running very smoothly in the production line, their production line.
Turn around that bottle. Yeah.
Yeah, this is glass.
Let us look at the printing. Is the printing good?
Yes, printing is good.
Yeah, print is pretty good. Yeah, we can see that. Wonderful.
Yes,
I like the color.
Technology. We have an engineer team develop for match customer new design.
I see. Yeah. Anything more?
Also we can show you the very special for the
yeah. What's that?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
yeah.
Next one we can show another question.
Of course, yes. Take your pick. Take your pick.
Thank you, Jack. What is the future of Shinsley packaging?
That's a big one, yeah.
Yeah, this is bigger one. Thank you. I think the label have an important role, not only carry the design and the product information, but also in protecting product contents. Shinsley, the packaging can provide more developed opportunity for the brand promotion, but also can make the truly different products. I have to say honest, we can meet the market of a sustainable develop for the end customer. We also provide the green solution for the protect the environment by the integrating both the shin sleeve material and the shin sleeve machine. Okay, of course, that we will play the best role as the professional supply in the shin sleeve, the packaging field. We need to pay the attention to the trend of the green solution, like digitalization, high speed production line, automation, and innovation in order to maintain the cost competence of our business. Ms. Darcy. This is my answer.
All right. Yeah. And I received some, some comments in the chat box now asking for show more samples. Yeah, show more special bottles. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. I show you like this one is sauce. Very special is practice and the lighting, and the skirt is very deep. Sometimes customer requests this shirt have a smooth and the plain. Okay. Another one is a high. Its the shirt is high, and the square also cannot keep smooth. But our engineer can support the customer customize the project. So we are co-work the manager and the engineer develop customer who want it.
Very interesting. Yeah. Okay, maybe we could answer one or two more questions to end our live Q&A. And delegates, and also Vicky, as I remind you before we enter this session, Daisy will copy paste their contact information on our last page of their slides. So you can have further discussions, not here only in the chat box, but maybe in, by your emails to have further discussions as well.
Yes, of course. Enjoy everybody content our link website for official.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And they have very, very good design and customized design team. Okay, talk to them. Okay, Vicky, next question. Use your time well. I think one or two more. I think one more question. Okay.
Okay, and this one, do you have a link the test producer? and ensure the quality. Yes, we have the very close the research inspection. Example, the customer request the cousin the CCT, and we have a security and in the production line. We can rejection if the sleeve is not good well, and we jet line, and the customer will receive fund on the downstream and complete the good goods. Okay, this will the for the packaging in the finally.
Great. Okay. And not only showing the outcome is very good, but the production line, right? You can also design the whole package of the production line for delegates, all right? Depends on your presentation I listen to.
Yes, exactly.
That's
okay.
Wonderful. Yeah,
So,
I have to say, due to the time limitation, Vicky, even though we like to listen to you showing more samples, however, the time gets to the end. So I need you to make a conclusion, or you can share some highlights to our delegates.
okay, Dancing is over the 35 years the company. We have built out a very stronger the engineer team and the develop team, and of course the production line manager setting very the company the stronger. So we can provide the customer the very tough the requirement, even the follow customer design and match the global the events, match the lure, and for the how to the promote the and the customer the build out the real the branding name in the field. So we always assistant customer and how to provide and save their efficiency in their the product line.
Yes, delegates. So today's hot word, keyword is green, efficiency, and
Yes.
high technology, right? Digitalisation. Remember
Yes.
that. Vicky,
Of course, saving their cost too.
saving costs, that's the outcome. Yes. If you do the right thing, the outcome will be good too. Vicky, thank you very much for joining our event today. Thank you for showing so much great examples. Delegates are very interested to see those beautiful shapes and very good colors string sleeve you have. I'm looking
Okay.
forward to have you in at our future event as well. Okay, Vicky, thank you for your time
Thank you,
today.
Jack. See you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
See you, Vicky. Bye-bye. Delegates, also say goodbye to Vicky in the chat box right now. So Vicky can also listen to all your voice, and maybe they can have further discussions with you. And also, Vicky, if you can still hear my voice, prepare your contact information, and also feel free to have more discussions in the chat box with our delegates, okay? Delegates, we now gonna enter some time of our very special activity now. Let me introduce you. I have talked about this in the beginning of my opening. In the next session, before we see Mediter, Toledo, and SECME, we have a lucky draw today, right? You know that. For the price $200, we will draw 2 VIP delegates today from our registration system who have attended and download the ebook or white paper. You have to do 2 things, right? You have to be here and you have to download the ebook and white paper. 2 things you have to do from Siemens virtual booth at this event. So what are you waiting for? I'm gonna give you 10 minutes as a time you can download the ebook, and also I will share some video tour of our business partners today. So seize the chance. Go visit the booth and download the file now. I'll play the video now so you can tell the time by the upper left. We will see you later. So stay tuned. I will take a lucky draw later after the sessions.
What's one of the main drivers of change in the manufacturing industry? It's us, consumers. 63% of us want to have new products faster. 94% regularly search for alternatives. 61% of us are willing to pay more for higher quality. 74% have become more price sensitive. Another 60% want more sustainability. Consumers can configure and order virtually anything online at the touch of a button. New products, faster, more personalized. Companies all over the world are challenged to keep up. From personalized products to mass-producing one-off items with consistently high quality and speed. Today's consumers are looking for a tailored experience from companies who are engaged socially, environmentally, and deliver more than just a product. To make it happen with precision and agility, a company must get product development, automated production processes, and digitalization to work hand in hand. Companies need a true digital enterprise. Only by combining processing, using and continuously optimizing virtual and actual information can you come up with something new, something better, and make consumers' individual dreams a reality. Siemens Digital Industries Software, where today meets tomorrow.
Hello, it's me, Jack, again. Welcome back. Do you use your networking and video tour time well, downloading a PDF, downloading the ebook, downloading the white paper, or have a great networking with our speakers or other delegates? Anyway, if you can hear my voice loud and clear, once again, in the chat box now, say hi or say yes to me. I have to make sure that you can listen to our presentations very carefully, very loud and clear later. So please say hi to me, and we will move on to our next session. In the next session, it's very, very exciting. We will have a very, very far away speakers from UK. So despite the time difference, despite the distance, we now go to the topic of product inspection. All right. Metal detectors in particular are the key component of many foreign body prevention programs. Metal detector use support compliance, protect your brand, and protects your customers from harm. But implementing foreign body prevention programs can adversely affect your profitability and overall equipment effectiveness, as known as OEE. But to explain, Mr. Paul Holship, Market Manager for Melitor Toledo, will introduce the technology advances that enable state-of-the-art metal detectors to improve your profitability and OEE. This can be achieved without having any negative impact on the detection ability of your metal detector. This also helps to reduce false reject rates, as known as FR, as I know. So, welcome, Mr. Holship. We're looking forward to listen to your very latest innovation presentations. And delegates, just like I mentioned before, prepare your own questions to Mr. Holship. He will be there in person answering all these questions. Learn the best from our expert today. See you guys later. Mr. Paul, you have the floor now.
Hello and welcome to this webinar on how modern metal detectors can improve profitability, OEE, as well as ensuring compliance. I am Paul Holchip, a market manager here at MT Safeline in Manchester, and thank you for joining me on today's session. In this session, the key takeaways are that metal detectors have features that can be used to actually boost productivity and OEE. And more importantly, you will learn that these features, when used, have absolutely no impact on the detection capability of the metal detector system. Yes, that's right. The focus will be on increasing productivity whilst ensuring compliance. Now, as a provider of metal detectors to the food and beverage industry, we would like to share with you some very practical tips on how to utilize the latest features present in modern metal detection systems that help combat rising costs, reduce production downtime, and help to comply with industry standards and testing requirements. The important part here is contaminant detection, and nothing changes in that respect. Everything that I will show you today and everything that we will discuss will have the best-in-class sensitivity, and there is no productivity versus sensitivity trade-off, so it's a win-win. You can have a best-in-class contaminant detection program and a great sensitivity, but still have the option to be more efficient and more effective in your operation. As you can see from the agenda, we've got three main items: reduce manufacturing downtime by clustering, and then we'll go on to reduce test mode, and then onto ATS. So straight away onto the product clustering. The traditional model for a production operation with multiple products is that the metal detector has a number of products stored in the memory. The metal detector configuration for each product is stored for each product, and then when the operation changes from one product over to another, the new product is selected in the metal detector. The changeover operation is usually done by the operations or the QA team, and after product changeover, a PM, a performance monitoring test, is generally carried out. Carrying out the performance monitoring test every time a product is changed over is really the norm, and the whole operation takes between 5 and 10 minutes and requires usually at least one person. However, often an unknown fact is that with a metal detector, in a lot of instances, the image that the metal detector builds of the product being inspected is identical. While to the human eye, one product looks physically different to another product, actually, electromagnetically, to the images to the metal detector, these products look the same. Put simply, to you and I, the products look different. To the metal detector, they look the same. Therefore, wouldn't it be great if the metal detector was able to identify which products look similar and able to group these together? This group containing all of the products that electromagnetically are similar. Well, our metal detectors can do that. We have what we call a cluster. A cluster is a group of products that contain all the products that look electromagnetically similar to the metal detector. So the benefit of this is that there'll be no need to change the products over individually when it comes time to do a production change. All you need to do is run the product cluster, which contains all of the similar products, and then there is no need to change the products over. This means, so instead of running product A and then changing to product B and then changing to product C, as long as all these are similar and in the cluster, all you do is run the cluster and it accommodates product A, product B, product C, etc. This means that all the production time that is lost in changing the products over and then all the subsequent performance tests that's required are removed, gaining real time back for the operation. So how much time is saved? We have an ROI calculator to look at this. So let's take a look at the ROI calculator. Hey, now we're going to actually look at the clustering ROI. How much money can you actually save by not changing the products over? So we've done a simple ROI calculator. It's just giving us various examples, as we will do for the reduced test mode and ATS. It's not meant to be absolutely spot on. There's obviously going to be variations between different sites and operations. So in this example, the first example, we're looking at a very slow line speed, about 60 products a minute. As an example, we'd say that there'd be 2 product changeovers generally in an 8-hour shift. And when you implement clustering, you'd take that down to 0. So that's where the saving is. We'd say that this operation, as an example, does about 250 days a year. And the number of 8-hour shifts is just going to run 1 shift. So a very small operation. And if 1 metal detector. So how much would that save us? Well, we're already looking at an increase in productivity of about 300,000 packs and an increase of about 4.35% on the operation before the clustering was implemented. Okay, that's a pretty impressive saving. Okay, just to give an example of making the operation slightly bigger. Now we'll look at a line speed more realistic, about 90 packs per minute. Again, 2 changeovers prior to clustering and then moving on to a regime of no changeovers. Again, only 250 days operation. And number of shifts now I've moved up to 2. And I'd say that in this operation, there's 5 metal detectors. So in the first instance, we're looking at a saving of an improvement of about 2.17% and being able to increase per line about 900,000 packs. And as I've shown, there's a 5 lines on the site. So that would be about a 4.5 million pack increase in that factory. In the last example, last factory, we'll say that line speed here is about 120 packs a minute. Again, 2 product changeovers before, none afterwards. This time it's a bit more substantial operation, 350 days a year, and it's going to do 3 shifts. And again, we're just looking at maybe 5 metal detectors. So now we're looking at about 2.5 million packs extra, a saving of just about 1.25%. And across the whole plant, the 5 lines, obviously we're looking at over 12.5 million packs extra. So just taking these rough examples, you can see by reducing the time needed to change the product over, i.e. take it away, you get significant impact in your profitability and your OEE. Thank you. Now we'll have a look at reduced test mode. Clustering is a great option if you have multiple products running on the same line, but this is not the case in every operation. However, the next topic impacts everybody on this call: testing. Every operation tests metal detectors. First point is to consider is how often should we test a metal detector? The frequency of this testing is usually determined by one of the two following. If the metal detector is a CCP, critical control point, then the test frequency will be determined by a risk assessment in line with your HACCP standards. Alternatively, you will follow your code of practice or your customer's code of practice, and that will stipulate the minimum test frequency. Some operations test every hour, some test every 2 hours, every 4 hours, test when the product is changed over, or test when the shift ends. There's various options and there's no right or wrong, it's whatever works for each operation. The performance testing takes time and resources, and the production usually stops during a PM test. This test period is what is lost production opportunity. Wouldn't it be great if we could take some of this time back? Well, with our metal detectors we can do that. They have a feature called reduced test mode. This significantly reduces the number of PMRs required. Firstly, let's review the current industry standard operation and review why performance tests are carried out in the first place. Your metal detection system should operate detecting metal to the set sensitivity. However, if any electronics start to fail, or there's drift, or someone, for whatever reason, tampers with the metal detector settings, then the metal detector system may no longer be able to detect metal contaminants to the required specification. So the metal detector operation people perform periodic performance monitoring tests in order to test the metal detector is operating to the required specification. And obviously, if it is not operating to the required specification, then corrective action can be taken. Really, the only way to know if the metal detector is performing to specification is to test it. But as I've already mentioned, one universal truism is that the production is generally lost, or production opportunity, while the tests are being undertaken. Therefore, production stops while the tests are being carried out. So how can we implement a system where less performance monitoring tests need to be carried out, but obviously the credibility and the confidence of the metal detection system remains? Well, this can be done with the metal detection systems have a feature called reduced test mode, as I've mentioned. Reduced test mode is an internal test or an internal watchdog system that continuously tests the metal detector. It actually does this in a more rigorous way than is actually done by humans on the manual tests, and it does it continuously. So therefore, not only does the metal detector carry out these tests continuously to ensure that there is no electronic failure, it also monitors that no personnel tamper with the metal detector settings. This means that both of the factors that can impact the metal detector sensitivity are actively being monitored continuously, not periodically like current testing methodologies. As I've already stated, the reason for doing these manual PMRs is traditionally it is the only way to see if the metal detector is performing to specification. Now, part of these manual tests can be moved to the reduced test mode, and the reduced test mode will do the testing. So how much testing is still done by the site personnel as opposed to how much is handed to the reduced test mode depends on the production operation and the QA, and this can change over time as the operation and the QA department become more confident in the reduced test mode. But when the reduced test mode is fully operational, it's not uncommon to reduce performance testing by people by up to 83%. So once again, how much time is going to be saved by reducing these tests? Well, we have an ROI calculator that can help calculate this, so we'll have a look at that now. Okay, now it's the second ROI calculator, that's the reduced test mode. So now we're looking at the time saved by taking away some of the mandatory PMRs and the time that would save by taking that away. So again, you start to recognize the format now. We're looking at line speed, about 60 packs a minute again in this instance. And we say that how many tests would be done prior to the normally. So in this instance, it'd be 8. And we're going to take that down to only 4 is going to be required once the reduced test mode is implemented. Each test would take about 3 minutes, so which the 3 minutes we're saving, and how many production days we're running. Again, I was using number 250 as an example, and how many shifts are there, 1 8-hour shift, and lastly is how many metal detectors. Just one in this instance. So even that's quite a small operation, not a massively fast running speed, but we're looking at saving somewhere in the region of 180,000 packs extra, or being able to produce those extra at, a 2.5% increase. So if we improve that now, increase that, so we're going to looking at 90 packs per minute. Again, used to do 8 tests, so one every hour in the shift, but now it's going to go down to 4 again. How many days? About 250 days operation, but now there's 2 shifts. So we're operating for 2 shifts, and in this plant we've got 5 metal detectors. So now you can see on one line alone, we're looking at somewhere in the region of 520,000 packs per one line, and obviously if that's 5 lines, then we're looking at over 2.7 million packs extra productivity is available by implementing a reduced test mode. And as a last example, an even higher pack rate, 120 packs per minute. Again, used to test every hour. Now they'll do it every other hour. They're going to run for 350 days, so it's a bit more of a complex operation. Obviously, still only taking 3 minutes the original test, but we'll do 3 shifts now. And there's 10 lines, so it's quite a big, substantial operation. So on one line alone, you're looking at extra 2.3 million packs potential opportunity by implementing reduced test. And across the site, 10 lines, then obviously it's about 23 million packs extra opportunity by implementing the reduced test mode. So as you can see, quite substantial returns by implementing it. Thank you. Now we'll look at fulfilling routine testing requirements. As you can see, we are talking really large numbers for return on investment when we look to employ some of the state-of-the-art features found in modern metal detectors. Numbers that have payback replacing old metal detectors in sometimes as little as 6 months. The next part is no less impressive in terms of payback, but relates to a small category of metal detector users, that is operations that use gravity-fed metal detectors. So these can be throat metal detectors, which are common in the confectionery and snack food industry, or also the gravity-type metal detectors that are used in unpacked, dry, free-falling powders, granules, particulates, rice and cereals, etc. So these are particular metal detectors for the gravity fall type industry. Once again, we'll focus on an area that is a big time consumer and stops production, but are mandatory for compliance. This time we will focus on the actual performance monitoring test itself. The PMR test involves passing a test piece through the metal detector and then recovering them from the production flow. And with the GFs and the throats, mostly use one of the 3 main methods, which is either dropping the test ball, using a test wand, or what we call a fishing line, which is the test piece on the end of a line dropped into the metal detector. The time required to test a metal detector varies, but is usually about 3 minutes. But we have seen examples of these tests taking between 5 and 6 minutes. Clearing the product, locating the test piece in the production flow, and then restarting the process. There is a whole debate in the accuracy and efficacy of whether these test methods are fit for purpose, but that is for another session, and we don't have the time to discuss that today. But as stated previously, production is impacted and generally lost while the tests are being undertaken. Therefore, the production stops while the test is carried out. What can we do? Well, if you have a metal detection system that has an automated test facility, then you can substantially reduce the time taken to carry out the test. I have an example of an ATS system here, and as you can see, it has 3 tubes, one for each of the metal types, which it carries in during the test, and each one has the appropriate test piece in it and the appropriate ball size, and this is what's used. This ATS cannon sits inside the aperture, but outside the production flow, and it will not be going into the technical side during this webinar, but at least to say that the test is set up so that it replicates the test piece running through the dead center of the metal detector. So it meets all the necessary compliance requirements for testing your metal detectors properly. The PM test initiated by the operator or the control system takes at most 45 seconds. So from a normal PMR test that can take 2, 3, 4, or even 5 minutes on every test, and you might be doing 8, 12, 24 tests a day, that's reduced to 45 seconds. Like the other methods, we have a calculator to demonstrate the ROI. All you have to do is calculate the current time taken, the new time taken with the ATS, and multiply that by the number of times per shift. So let's have a look at the simple ROI calculator. And now we'll look at the ATS ROI calculator. So exactly the same format as the previous two, so you'll recognize it now. So now we're going to look at implementing the ATS to take over some of the testing, the manual testing. And so the time saved by having the ATS at 45 seconds compared to what it would have taken on site 2, 3, 4 minutes to do the test manually. So again, the first example is pack speed about 60 packs per minute. They would do 8 tests, so they do a test every hour, and they intend to continue doing a test every hour, but using the ATS instead of the manual testing. It takes about 3 minutes traditionally to do a manual test, and that's across all of the examples that we give. And we'll say that the tests are going to run for about 250 days. The plant runs for 250 days. There's 1 shift running in this instance, and the number of lines, 1 metal detector. So all of those added together, we can see that there's about a 270,000 pack production opportunity by implementing the ATS on a single line at 60 packs per minute. If we increase that and say that the site is a bit bigger, doesn't about 90 packs per minute, again, it would do about 8 tests traditionally, and they'll carry on doing 8 tests, but they'll do it with the ATS mode. Obviously, we know what the time taken was. And now we're saying that the plant's still running about 250 days, but it has 2 shifts of 8-hour shifts. So it's running that, and it's got 10 lines, 10 production lines. So 1 line alone would be over 500,000, 540,000 packs, a 3.8% increase in potential productivity. And if you aggregate that across the 10 lines, then we're looking at obviously over 5.4 million extra packs opportunity if you implement the ATS mode alone. So again, the last example, you've recognized the format now, about 120 packs per minute is the line speed. 8 tests previously, we'll continue doing 8 tests. And now the production operation runs for about 350 days a year and actually runs for 3 shifts and has 25 lines. So it's a big operation, 3 shifts, high speed line. And that's looking at, for 1 line alone, about a 2.2 million packs a year opportunity for productivity improvements. And across the site, for 25 lines, then obviously we're looking at over 56 million packs potential opportunity improvement, increase in efficiency, increase in OEE. Thank you. Okay, so that's reduced manufacturing downtime with product clustering, reduced test mode, and finally fulfilling test routines with the ATS. So now it's over to the facts and questions.
I have to say that is indeed very interesting, right? Either the way they Paul do the presentation, and also, right, we the content of the presentation. So once again, delegates, it's our live Q&A time. So before we enter the platform, before I invite Paul to enter the platform, please prepare your questions in the chat box. I will send your questions to Paul and he will answer you in person. Remember, Paul is from UK, so seize the very rare, very great chance to talk to our speakers from EU. Oh, Paul, nice to see you. Hello.
Hi, Jack. How are you?
That's wonderful. I will publish the questions for you. I hope you can read my screen. Okay, that's the
Okay.
first question for you.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and hello from Manchester, where we make the metal detectors. So the first question is there any technology improvements that can reduce false rejects? This is a question that we get asked a lot. There are technologies that we can employ where we have complex products that are maybe causing false rejects. And there is something from a technical viewpoint. But also the issue of false rejects covers a wide area, and it's not always technology that's required for false rejects. Sometimes it's the specification of which type of metal detector, or even the installation and verification of the products that are being inspected. So the answer is yes, but a little bit more investigation is required in order to establish what's causing the false rejects. I hope that answers the question.
I hope that too. Let's go to the next one.
Okay, another good question. What do the retailers say about implementing a practice that tests the metal detector less? So by inference, the question is correct in that we are advocating a metal detector operation that is actually testing less and not more, slightly counterintuitive. In actual fact, what we're saying is that the actual metal detector in real terms will be testing itself more because it's doing it continuously. So we can remove that fear. And in terms of the retailer's requirement, the retailers generally stipulate that a test is required or is mandated. And this is carrying out those tests. So our experience so far is that the retailers are absolutely happy that the tests have continued to be carried out. And so much so that in reference to auto test systems, a number of the retailers have already included the text into their code of practice to specifically state that auto detection systems, auto test systems are acceptable. So far, from a retailer standpoint or from the IFS or BRC, all the indications are that testing is required, and that exactly is what's happening more often. So it's a good all-round solution. But that's a really good question.
Thank you very much. Yes, let's go to the next one. But I have to say, before we go to the next one, I'm very curious that you have the very good machine aside from you. Would you like to make introduction to that to delegates as well?
Yeah, I mean, this is actually the first question referenced a machine like this one. So generally, as most people I think on the call will understand, that products that are being detected or inspected generally fall into two categories: what we call a dry product or a product with no conductivity. And they're easy to put through and test because the product doesn't impact the metal detector. So it's easy to detect the contaminants. The other category of products is what we call wet products. And these are characterized by products that themselves have a conductivity. And so when you put the product inside the field of the detection, it actually disturbs the field even without a contaminant. And you probably can't see that, but I can do that with this machine. I can trigger this machine just by my hand. You can see it's triggered. And so these more complex products, these wet products, these products that have a conductivity are generally more difficult to detect because of the residual conductivity. So we have a metal detector here called a Profile Advantage, which is specifically designed for complex products. It learns the characteristic of the products and has some special technology that removes the product signal, and it suppresses the actual product signal, so that when the product is going through the metal detector, the product signal has been suppressed, and the only signal left is a potential contaminant, and that's what triggers the metal detector. So this is a superb technology for anyone with meat, poultry, seafood, some dairy products, or anybody that has packaging that has metallized film packaging, that we're able to handle them to a degree with this metal detector, a Profile Advantage. Thanks for that.
That's very thorough. That's very thorough, I have to say. And I have one question from my side. I just asked for my not client, my delegates in Asian countries, in Asian regions. Paul, since I mentioned, I announced that you are actually from UK, right? How can you help? How can you help increase their efficiency or the food safety for those manufacturers in Asian countries?
Well, obviously, the standards and the requirements in the Asian countries are the same as Europe. So for the metal detectors here, I mean, we provide metal detectors for all over the world, for Europe, Middle East, Africa, Asia, and the Americas. And they're either produced here in Manchester or over in China as well. And the exact same standard for the metal detectors that we produce in our factory here is the same in China. And again, they're best in class for finding the smallest contaminant possible. And at the end of the day, as a metal detector manufacturer and provider, our aim is to be able to find the smallest contaminant possible, because that protects our customer and their customers, the end users, from any potential harm or danger.
Would it be difficult to contact you from Asian countries to UK?
No. And part of my remit as a market manager, I look after the sales channels, certain sales channels, and I actually have 2 Asian sales channels as well. So anybody is welcome to contact me. We have local guys distributed throughout Asia and in most countries in Asia anyway. So for localized language and for time zones, it may be more efficient to contact the local guys, or I may use them and put you in touch with the local sales and technology guys. But by all means, anybody's welcome to contact me by email anytime, or Teams meeting, or I'm very open to supporting the Asia region, as well as the whole team behind me. There's not just me, there's a whole team here that does that here and in Asia.
Lovely to hear that. Let's go to the next question, shall we? I will pass this actually a very fresh question just come in. So yeah, you can see. Can you read that on your monitor?
So yeah, that's a good question, and that is probably a question that's been come to mind because of what I was just saying about this Profile Advantage. So yes, very definitely we can detect the metal types ferrous, non-ferrous, and stainless steel inside metallized packaging at really good sensitivities as well. So the machine like this one, the Profile Advantage, can suppress the metallized packaging film and give good results. I've actually got a pack of over to my right, which I could actually grab and show you. But the answer is very definitely yes. Talk to your local sales guy or talk to me. If it's things like snacks and crisps, chips in packs and things like that comes through a bagging machine, or it's on a conveyor, then yes, very definitely we can look at removing the metallized film from the suppression, from the overall detection.
Thank you for
That's
that.
a good question. And it
Thank
proved
you.
that the
And
person
also,
was listening to what I said before.
great. I hope that answered your questions, Mr. or Miss Delegate. Due to the time limitation, next question will be our last one. Let me publish that.
Okay, that's a good question as well, because obviously you want to know that if the reduced test mode is active, so that the metal detector is looking after itself and doing its self-tests. So we can do that a number of ways. So firstly, on the screen, it would indicate RT mode active. So that would, if anybody is close by and looked at the HMI for the metal detector, they would see that the reduced test mode is active. Also, you really want to know when it's not active, so the inverse situation, and that can be allied to a contacts or a communication protocol or even a beacon or a sounder, because the important issue or aspect of that question is if the metal detector takes itself out of reduced test mode, either because of some sort of failure within the metal detector system or because of some parameter change by user input, then you need to know that the metal detector is no longer protecting you in reduced test mode. And then that can be indicated to you by the means of a beacon, a sounder, as well as the HMI, but you might not be close to the metal detector, or a contact closure or communication protocol to any control system or any watchdog or office or computer to let you know that it's no longer in reduced test mode. So there's various ways in which we can show that the reduced test mode is functioning, and more importantly, when it's not functioning.
Interesting. So before we end this presentation, I would like to ask this question. Paul, do you have any highlights or conclusion you would like to make for today's presentation of yours?
Yes, thanks, Jack. So as we know, potentially there's actions that you can take as manufacturers to help combat rising costs for your manufacturing. And the key takeaways are, if you understand that there are features that are present in many metal detector systems of modern variety, and we gave you 3 examples: the clustering, the reduced test mode, and the auto test systems. By utilizing these technology advances and incorporating them into your production operation, you have the opportunity for making huge savings or opportunity for more production within your operation. So that's the takeaway: is let the technology enable you to become more efficient and more effective.
Thank you very much.
For your time.
Yeah, and also, so thank you for your presentation. That's very insightful. Anyway, I have to say, do you have? I saw you ask for the contact information you would like to contact. You would like to share so that manufacturers in Asian countries can contact you, right? Can you ask your assistant or your helper to now text your contact information in the chat box now? I can forward it to the delegate platform so that delegates can have the chance to do that. Yeah, can you share it? I would do it right away.
I will get my assistant here, Tom, is going to put my email into the chat box now. So it's quite simple. It's paul.holdship@mt.com.
Yes, Paul, I got that now. Yeah, so I will share it now.
I would just clarify that to anyone just to say that I'm super good at speaking English, but I'm not great at many other languages. So please make the email in English, or I'll have to get it translated. But that's no big deal. If you can't do it in English, I can probably get it translated.
No worries, Dad. It's global countries now. Anyway, thank you for your great presentation today. I personally like it very much because you show the big machine and even use your hands to do the testing. I like that very much. And I'm looking forward to have you attending our future events as well, Paul and your team. MT, thank you for your time today. Okay, delegates also saying thank you or goodbye to Paul today. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay, now delegates, as you can see, I share the contact information of Paul's in the chat box now. I will type more words about that later. I only copy paste the email. I'm sorry for that. But I will, when I have time, I will do it better. Anyway, seize your chance to contact Paul, contact MT. Far from UK, however, they can do a lot of assistance to improve your food safety and also your efficiency. Okay, now it's time. Let me introduce the next presenter. Our next presenter, the next presentation for packaging, acquaints us on PET preform manufacturing. A preform is product that is blown into a bottle or other containers, right? So the plastic inside is polyethylene terephthalate. It's very hard to pronounce, but I try my best. To help us understand role of digitalization in PET preform manufacturing, please welcome to this session, Mr. Morado Massey. Mr. Massey is the PET Business Director for SACME's Rigid Packaging Business Unit. Now, let's welcome Mr. Massey and listen very, very carefully. He will be joining our live Q&A as well, so prepare your questions and learn a lot from our experts today. Mr. Morado Massey, you have the floor now.
We would like to show you from close-up the new press for molding PT preforms, the latest addition to SACMI's 220 and 400 ton models, the IPS 300. Furthermore, we want to show you how SACMI interprets the digitalisation of PT preform manufacturing and how this translates into a real economic advantage for you. By presenting these innovations, we would like to reiterate the completeness of SACMI's proposals, which includes technology and know-how for both caps and PT preform. Together, we will see the new production line mainly composed of the IPS 300 press and the 96 cavities mold, designed and manufactured inside. We will also look at the future of preform quality control in line, with an animation of the first vision system integrated into the production line, our PVS 156. You may notice many similarities between this model, IPS 300, and the previous models. In fact, we have kept all those solutions that offer a real economic advantage to you as a final user. At the same time, however, this machine presents some key innovations which make it unique in the market and distinguish it from previous models. This IPS 300 is equipped with a 96 cavity mold designed, manufactured and assembled inside. It produces a PT preform weighing 24 grams, finished PCO 1881 with a wall thickness of 3.9 mm. The cycle time is 11.9 seconds. The IPS 300 complements the existing 220 and 400 ton IPS press range and is designed on the same basic concept: performance, flexibility, ease of use, reliability. Performance. The lock-to-lock time of the IPS 300 is 2 seconds. This performance, together with the fast cycle times, places this machine in the narrow circle of the most performing equipment in the market. The CARE system for energy recovery, together with adaptive self-tuning always present in SACMI IPS machines, allows the IPS 300 to obtain a specific consumption of 0.2 kWh. Format changeover and machine startup are among the quickest in the market. Flexibility. IPS 300 can work with molds from 24 cavities for 48 mm necks up to 96 cavities for 30 mm necks. Moreover, taking advantage of the MHT nanopitch patent, IPS 300 can accommodate up to 128 cavities for 26-22 mm necks. We will talk about this mold in a moment. You can use your molds. In fact, IPS 300 is compatible with molds that have external air and coolant connections, including high-pet molds. It is also possible to use G-line molds through an adaptation kit and some plate machining. Easy of use. The IPS 300 also benefits from the particularly intuitive and easy-to-use HMI, designed and built by SACMI, which characterized the 220 and 400 ton IPS models. We are proud to have helped so many customers minimize the learning time in using our lines, which is why we wanted to maintain this HMI structure. If you already have another IPS model in your plant, using the IPS 300 will be routine right out of the box. If the IPS 300 is your first SACMI machine, please note that the learning curve for your operators will be much shorter than you imagine. Reliability. IPS presses are designed without compromise, implementing top quality components such as Moog for proportional servo valves, Bosch for pumps, valves and energy recovery system, Beckhoff for twin cat automation architecture, with Ethercat Field Bus. Let's talk briefly about molds, emphasizing that SACMI is a manufacturer of both machines and molds. And hot runners too. With these skills and know-how of our technological laboratory, SACMI is one of the few suppliers of truly complete solutions. This IPS is equipped with a new range of Flow Plus hot runners, which has met with considerable market success, as it offers numerous advantages: dust reduction and longer maintenance intervals, less stress on the material and therefore a major contribution to the acetaldehyde reduction, and even better balancing and control of the nozzles. Let's see some details together.
The mold you see has 96 cavities, and it is entirely designed, manufactured and assembled in SACMI Imola. The machine is producing a 24-gram preform with PCO 1881 finish. It's 90.3 millimeters long, and the cycle time is 12 seconds. We are developing our own range of molds and hot runners, which currently cover up to 96 cavities. We have a good commercial cooperation with MHT, and in 2020 we produced a total amount of 3,200 stacks, 40% SACMI and 60% MHT. Still regarding MHT supplies, I'd like to underline the interesting nano pitch patent, which accommodates up to 128 cavities in the IPS 300 and 144 cavities in the IPS 400. Please note that this is only possible for small sizes of necks, typically the 2622, which is the GME 30.40. Due to the distance between the columns, the IPS range is the only one in the market today that allows this type of effective combination. This solution makes possible to meet the demand for higher productivity and minimize the energy consumption per preform. I summarize the capabilities of the nano-pitch mold: up to 128 cavities for the 300 tons model and 144 cavities for the 400 tons model. Going ahead with the description, 4 boosters act during the preform extraction as in top-of-the-line competitors' models. The clamping unit takes advantage of a toggle explicitly designed for this IPS model and optimized based on the experience and the good results obtained with the 220 and the 400-ton models.
Now, I want to show you some features that make this machine unique and translate it into a real competitive advantage for you. Let's move to the opposite side of the machine and talk about preform cooling and handling.
The displacement of the takeout plate is obtained with a linear motor to which is connected a kinetic energy recovery system. It's a KERS manufactured by Bosch. The takeout plate can be equipped with 3 or 4 post-cooling stations. But the most innovative part of the preform cooling is the patented Cool Plus system, which is gradually extending to all models of the IPS range. In this system, the movement of the gripper plate and the Cool Plus plate, the one with the cooling blows, are independent. The Cool Plus cooling plate is equipped with as many blowers as the cooling stations in the takeout plate, -1, which is the discharging one. The purpose of these blowers is to cool the preform before the gripper plate picks them up. The vacuum pins in the gripper plate pass through the Cool Plus plate, pick the cooled preforms up and release them onto the exit belt. In turn, the preforms in a vertical row are intercepted by a moving arm which feeds the preform to the PVS 156, the preform vision system that we will discuss about in a moment. The displacement of the Cool Plus plate is minimal. Its retraction allows the translation of the takeout plate. The cooling action of the Cool Plus is also very effective because the entire Cool Plus system is displacing autonomously, and it is not bounded to the lock-to-lock time of the mold. Before moving on to the description of the vision system, let me say just a few words about the automation of this IPS. It is based on the twin cut by Beckhoff architecture with Ethercut field bus. We have almost completed the extension of this automation to the whole range of IPS presses and the vision inspection systems too. This infrastructure allows process control to be pushed to levels that could not be reached before. And the ability of this system to process so quickly large amounts of data and interact with the outside world allows entering the world of big data in the manufacturing execution system and more generally in the IoT. This architecture opens up possible self-learning, behavior predictions and process control at levels that were not achievable yesterday.
From this side of the machine, I can show you also another important innovation. We are talking about a preform inspection system integrated into the press to meaningfully contribute to the IPS process without affecting the press footprint. This kind of deep coupling is currently only available from SACMI because it owns both technologies. SACMI patents this preform vision system, and to understand how it works, we will help with a 3D animation inside an augmented reality environment.
The PVS is integrated inside the IPS press, and all the spaces are shared. Even if the mechanical parts of the two machines interact with each other, it is essential to note that the efficiency of the press is never affected by the vision system. The PVS picks up a vertical row of preforms from the press before the gripper plate releases. The PVS inspection system chooses which column to pick, so it can inspect all the preforms of an entire stroke step by step. The inspection time of a complete stroke depends obviously on the preforms in the mold and on the complexity of the inspection required. A 96 cavity mold is typically inspected in just less than 5 minutes, which is about 1,200 preforms per hour. I invite you to evaluate these numbers against the accuracy and the repetition of inspection that a trainer operator can perform in the same amount of time. There are 3 essential features of this PVS. The first one is the maintenance access area of the PVS, which is separate from the press, so the operators can access the PVS while the press is still producing. In this way, we have separated efficiencies for the inspection systems and for the press. The second one is that the PVS does not interfere with the operation of the press at all. The rest position of the preform picking arm is outside of the exit belt. The third one is that you can inspect your preforms according to your requirements. The modular configuration of the PVS allows you to adapt it to your specific needs.
Let's take a brief look at the working cycle, following the path of the preforms within the PVS.
The mobile arm picks up a column of preforms and releases them on a pair of rollers. The rollers tilt and feed the preforms to the infeed start, on which the PVS performs the first two inspections, the top of the finish and the bottom of the preform. A gripper then picks up the preform and places it into the whitening model. Next, the same gripper picks up the preform and delivers it to a rotating mandrel, which rises and allows temperature measurements at various points along with the aid of the preform. The spindle rotates, making it possible to inspect the entire surface of the preform. Once the inspection is complete, the PVS releases the preform into an exit belt that acts with a separating chute. This acts as a rejection device, both for the defective preforms and for the samples requested by the operator. Defective preforms are diverted into a separate container. All the components I have described are isolated from the IPS press by photoelectric barriers. The PVS is equipped with a control panel placed near the rejection area. We think that this placement makes the PVS access and setting more convenient and faster, as the operator can immediately check the outcome of the controls.
PVS 156 is designed to add value to your business. The quality controls just described also include the inspection of internal PT stresses through polarized light and artificial intelligence. This exclusive SACMI patent is a competitive advantage since it indicates process corrections that lead to a concrete economic benefit. Let's take a practical example, thinking about a typical use case, that is the startup of a mold that has remained unused for a while.
Let's assume that we are assembling a mold that has been sitting in storage, so it's been unused for some time. The expectation is to produce preforms that are consistent with the settings the machine had when it was turned off, in the shortest possible time. But in practice, what happens? To minimize time, the press usually starts working with the new mold, and while it runs, the operator in charge performs quality checks. This operation takes a certain amount of time, which can vary depending on the number of the preforms and on the cycle time, but it will always be much longer than the time taken by the PVS, which, I remind you, is about 5 minutes for a 96 preforms press. Sometimes this phase looks a bit like a gamble. If the quality checks of each preform give a positive result, the startup production is accepted, and we have won the bet. But on the other hand, as it can happen, if the operator finds a problem in the 88 preform of a 96 mold, then we have lost the bet. The problems begin, that is, the different treatment that the preforms produced up to that moment will undergo. In this situation, and in all cases of a start and stop, or a format change, or monitoring of the beginning of a production, the PVS allows you to avoid the waste of time and money caused by non-conformities. Let's now see the accuracy of the inspection, talking about the second example, the routine checks during production itself. Today, in many plants, preform quality control is performed manually, by periodically taking a stroke and checking preforms one by one. Suppose we assume that an octabin is filled in about 30 minutes, depending on the type of the preform, obviously, and on the cycle time, and that a typical manual check analyzes 1 to 3 molds every 1 to 2 hours. In that case, it follows that in an optimal situation, and I stress optimal, less than 0.33% of production is analyzed. There are typical problems that can affect manual quality control, such as the lack of proper tools, the inadequate lighting, operator fatigue, and obviously there's a subjective operator criteria. And this situation is to a lack of accuracy, to non-standard quality criteria, and a long time is required in order to complete the inspection of an entire mold. The PVS can solve the problems related to manual inspection, because it guarantees dedicated lighting, which is specifically designed to optimize inspection, dedicated tools, as all the inspections are performed by specifically designed hardware, a high precision thanks to the high resolution cameras, and obviously the inspection criteria is objective, and there's a fast and constant analysis over time.
We are at the end of our journey. I hope you have appreciated the contents of this presentation, and we have been able to transmit our vision and strong commitment towards innovation and development of products even more competitive and profitable for our customers.
I personally like the factory tour, that part the most. I like that very much. So I have a question for you, Morado. Since I have I see two accounts you attend, so I'm not so sure which one to make you as a presenter to log in to the live Q&A platform. Anyway, I make them both join the live Q&A platform. So yeah, take your chance. Okay, so this one is the
Here I am.
Nice, that's why. Okay. Anyway, yes, welcome to see you attending our this conference and also the live Q&A platform. Should I publish the question for you? This will be our first one.
Yes, good afternoon to everybody. It's a pleasure to be here live from Italy. I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you have enjoyed the journey into our workshop. We try to condensate in 20 minutes a technology that is quite complex. It's not so simple to describe. The first question is concerning the Cool Plus technology. Which is the advantage of the new aftercooler with the Cool Plus as compared to the ones of the IPS machines sold until today? Well, the Cool Plus technology is extremely effective, especially with a preform with a wall quite thick, like for the ones that are typically used for the carbonated soft drinks applications. Why? Because this technology basically add an additional cold air flow inside the preforms during the post-cooling phase. So beside the typical cooling made by the cooling tubes that are in the takeout plate, we add an additional flow of cold air inside the preform. So this gives a big benefit, especially for thick preform in the cycle time. To give you an example, in the video you have seen that we were injecting and molding a preform of 24 grams for carbonated soft drinks, half a liter Coca-Cola bottle, for example, with a wall thickness that was almost 4 millimeters, 3.9. We could pass from 14 seconds to 11.9 seconds just adding this additional device.
Okay, I hope that answers your questions, Mr. or Miss Delegate. The next one will be, I choose this one.
Yeah. If I understood well, it is possible to install also a mold of 128 cavities on this machine. How is it possible? Yes, in our philosophy of manufacturing presses for preforms, one of the key point is the distance between the tie bars. In all our presses, we tried to have the maximum possible distance between the tie bars in order to have the possibility to install molds with a large number of cavities. Today, the 300 tons, the one that we have presented in the video, is the only platform worldwide that has the possibility to run with molds of 128 cavities. These molds, of course, are not let's say the standard molds, are molds developed by our partner MHT with a special pitch that is called nano pitch, that is 45 millimeters in distance in vertical and 110 millimeters in horizontal. with this mold, is possible to reach 128 cavities on a 300 tons machine. This is something that we are trying to do also in other platforms. For example, in the 400 tons, the bigger sister of the 300, where we will have the possibility to install 144 cavity with the same concept of nano pitch.
Yes, I have to say that's very thorough and in details as well. So delegates, you can feel free not only listen to Mr. Morado, you can also share some feedbacks in the chat box too. So I can also share your feedback or your opinion to Mr. Morado. And that's the next question.
Yeah,
Mr.
there is
Morado.
another question. It seems to me that the idea of integrated vision system is very interesting. Could the PVS 156 vision system be installed on other supplier presses too? Well, first of all, I think that this is really the big innovation that we brought with this new technology. The fact that in injection presses for preform, inside the frame of the injection presses, we have the possibility, as an optional, but we have the possibility to install a vision system that can regularly take part of the production and inspect in an extreme intensive way in order to check any type of defect in the preform. And of course, correct the parameters that need to be corrected in case in order to solve the problem. This is a big innovation and is possible. Unfortunately, it's possible to install it only in our presses because in order to work, it requires a special solution for the post-cooling, something that today we are the only one to have. So the fact that we are using two different plate for the Cool Plus and for the gripper of the preform. So the Cool Plus plate make a very, very short stroke in and out of the preform every cycle. The gripper plate can make a very long stroke. So remove the preform that are ready to be removed from the takeout plate, and we can typically our competitor are using these two technology in the same hand, in the same plate. And so for this reason, it's not possible to install PVS in a different platform than SACMI.
Okay, that's your advantage, right? Okay. Due to the time limitation, the next one I have to announce will be our last one. So let me publish that. And Mr. Morado, try to make it a little bit short so we can jump to our conclusion later as well.
Yeah, sure.
Okay? You can proceed. Yeah.
Yeah, the argument that is in this question is extremely complex, so I will try to condensate it in few words.
Yeah.
I would like to understand better the machine behavior with the recycled PT. It is necessary to change parts on the machine. No, on the machine is not necessary to change anything. But of course, in the auxiliaries equipment, so like the PT dryer, etc., it is necessary to make big changes because, as you know, our PT has quite a different behavior in the drying process than the virgin PT. So machine is okay, but then you have to think about big changes on top of the machine on the platform.
Okay, thank you for your presentation and also the live Q&A at the end. I think that's very vivid and vivid is about your live tour, your videos, and very insightful at the end. So would you like to have some highlights or conclusions for your presentations today?
Yeah, first of all, it was a big opportunity for us to present this new range of machinery to the audience, to the delegates. We will be present with the machine running in the next exhibitions in Germany. So whoever of the delegates will visiting the K show in October, we will be there. Machine is running exactly the machine that you have seen in the video with the PVS and everything. So please come and see us in our booth in Germany.
Of course. And you, since you mentioned it, maybe you would like to share your booth number as well. Yeah, if you want, you can, invite
I
in there.
can ask my assistant to put it in eventually in the chat because I don't have
Chat
it in
box,
front of
yeah,
me right now.
Of course, yes, of course. And I have to say, delegates, that's very wonderful if you have the chance to visit K-Show today this year. And for your presentation, Mr. Morado, personally, I like the most. I like it very much, and I would like to invite you to attend our future events as well. Looking forward to see you in the future as well. Thank you for
With
your
pleasure.
time
Thank you,
today.
Jack. Thank you,
Thank
Jack.
you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
And
Bye-bye.
delegates, saying goodbye to Mr. Morado, and also leave comments, or if you have further questions, discussions to make, it's okay to leave there as well. And also, I will share the the feedback form link later after this event. Before you go, make sure that you know you share your opinions with us. That's very important. We want to make this better for you in our future events. So I'll try to make the leave the feedback form link there in the chat box. And now, as you can see on the screen, it's very exciting. It's our lucky draw time. So let me explain the rules to all of you first before we go to the lucky draw. I believe many of you have already learned a lot today and the insights from the speakers, but many of you are also wondering when the lucky draw session starts, right? It's right now. Who will be the winners to get $200 today? If it shows your name, please text yes, yes, yes in the chat box so we can know that you're actually online here with me, with all the other delegates as well. And we will check and announce you later if the person are eligible winners. Who to be the eligible winners? Note this now. If the two people are both eligible candidates, each of them will get $100 each. If there is only one eligible candidate, then the person will get $200. However, if nobody responds to us saying yes, yes, yes in the chat box, and then unfortunately there will be nobody get the prize. So after that, we will test if you're eligible. We will contact you. But before that, very important is, let's go to the lucky draw system. Okay. If you can see my windows now, let me check if you can see it. Okay, I think that's good to go. And in this system, yes, we put all your names in it already. Who are ready to join our lucky draw system? Okay, I'll draw one by one, two people. The first winner will goes to Iris Ui. I'm not sure if I pronounce your name right. Iris Ui. I will copy your name first to my notebook. Okay, so Iris, if you hear your name, if you hear me announce your name, please in the chat box now text yes, yes, yes for me to know you're actually there. I'll pick another name now. Who will be our next winner for 100 or 200 USD dollar? Cheryl Sanchez Malo. Cheryl Sanchez Malo, please go to the chat box right now and text yes, yes, yes right now, so I will know you actually win this lucky draw. Okay, let me go back to my lucky draw slide, and I will see. I will ask my helper assistant to look into to the names who actually win this prize. Actually, Jacqueline, if you're there, please tell me if we have the winner today. We have two names here who win the lucky draw. I will copy and paste in the chat box now for all of you, and also for Jacqueline. Jacqueline, please look at in the chat box now. I will copy paste the two winners. Okay, that's the two winners, I have to say. Okay, this one is the first one, and this one is the second one. Okay, Okay. Okay. Do we have Iris here? No, we don't have Iris here, I think. And do we have this Shuro? Let me see if we have the Shuro here. Oh, no, we don't have Shuro here. Oh, that's sad. I hope Iris and Shuro will see this context and listen to my announcement and text yes there. Okay. Okay, so I will announce something very important now, and maybe later we will do the lucky draw later. Anyway, as you can see on my screen now, we really appreciate your support during this whole process. The whole process, I mean the past 2 to 3 years. Over the course of this 2 to 3 years, we overcame challenges like COVID-19 and many others more. We shall once again be traveling and make business happen. One more time for all of you, when the steps of many governments open the nation gates in Southeast Asia already. On behalf of Ringer Events, I would like to thank you for your support. And also, don't forget, the next year will be the Ringer 25th anniversary, and we will have a very special project for you, for our VIP delegates, including you. Today, join our F&B industry summit today. Please scan the QR code now on the screen and add the Connect with Jacqueline Wang, who is the industrial representative of food and beverage industry. She will announce the details of the special project for you on our official LinkedIn page. So please contact with Jacqueline today. I will also share this link in the chat box now. So you can feel free to contact Jacqueline, to get to know more about our special project for you. The subtitle is See Knowledge, Trust, Connected. So what will we do? Look forward to it. I have to say, see you at next event on December 7th too, as well. Also about food and beverage packaging sector, and see who will win the prize of our very special project, 25th anniversary special project. All right, Jacqueline, before I end this presentation, please have a discussion. Since we don't have the winner today, please ask, will we do the lucky draw once again? So delegates, please be patient. I will just make the closing remark now. But if after I finish making the closing remark, we still don't have the winners today, maybe, I have to say maybe, we will have the lucky draw again. So maybe you will be the winner. So I'm not so sure. I will do the closing now. So have you scanned the QR code yet? Yeah, or click the link I share in the chat box. After listening to all the very enlightening, insightful presentations, we learned about the latest technology that will undoubtedly increase automation and packaging for the F&B industry, as well as other suggestions for enhancing the quality of packaging materials so that they can be employed in higher value applications. All of us, I think, had a very fruitful day in addition to learning a lot as well. We have to finish our webinar right away due to the time limitation, aside from the fact that maybe I will do the lucky draw once again. However, if any of your questions from the chat box weren't addressed by our speakers today, or you want to have further discussions with them, feel free to email them or send your questions to us by filling our feedback form. I will put this very special feedback form link in the chat box now. And completing this feedback form will help us serve you better. Please fill out the simple questionnaire within it, and we will be very happy to see you once again soon in the next online conference series, and we will do better for you. On behalf of Ringer Event, I'm Jack Chen, host and assistant planner for today's virtual conference. Please leave your comments in the chat box to us or say goodbye to me. I'd like to wish you a good day and hope to see you in person at our future physical and hybrid events in your country actually. So Jacqueline, do we do the lucky draw one more time? Sure. Okay, dear delegates, I am very honored and pleased to announce that we will do the lucky draw again. I have to say this will be the final round, so if you are here with us, with me, Jack, I have to say thank you. Thank you very much. And we will do the lucky draw one more time to have another two winners. Okay. Mama. Okay. Johan Mark Golbing. Johan Mark Golbing, are you there? If you're there, please, please say yes in the chat box to me, and we will test if you can win our lucky draw for 100 or 200 USD dollars. And next winner will be goes to Andrea. Okay, next winner is Andrea Budianto Suranta Tarikan. Sorry for very long name to pronounce, but I will announce your name here in the chat box. So these two winners, please, if you are there in the chat box, you actually attend our webinar today, please say yes in the chat box. And my assistant and our group will contact you later to test if you're eligible winners to win 100 or 200 USD dollars. Once again, I have to say on behalf of the Ringer Events, I'm Jack Chen. I'm gonna wish you a wonderful day and look forward to see you in the next future virtual events or physical and hybrid event in your country. I'm looking forward to see you. Goodbye. Thank you for joining the event today.
What's one of the main drivers of change in the manufacturing industry? It's us, consumers. 63% of us want to have new products faster. 94% regularly search for alternatives. 61% of us are willing to pay more for higher quality. 74% have become more price sensitive. Another 60% want more sustainability. Consumers can configure and order virtually anything online at the touch of a button. New products, faster, more personalized. Companies all over the world are challenged to keep up. From personalized products to mass-producing one-off items with consistently high quality and speed. Today's consumers are looking for a tailored experience from companies who are engaged socially, environmentally, and deliver more than just a product. To make it happen with precision and agility, a company must get product development, automated production processes, and digitalization to work hand in hand. Companies need a true digital enterprise. Only by combining processing, using and continuously optimizing virtual and actual information can you come up with something new, something better, and make consumers' individual dreams a reality. Siemens Digital Industries Software, where today meets tomorrow.